Performing live now, DonCat. Where the Wind Blows, that song, and how that kind of went from just a simple idea or chord or lyric to where it is now.
Sure. Usually I like to start with imagery, and especially that song wanted to evoke themes of adventure and sort of set that kind of theme and idea in motion. And just since it's a cruising vibe, it was nice to come up with kind of adventurous words and ideas that kind of create an idea of it in and of itself.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I think that's always a trademark of a great song. Like the foundation of a great song is something that has kind of like a movement, like a fluid that makes the body, without even knowing it, move and kind of like feel and or emotionally take you somewhere else. And I was just telling you guys that, sitting up there, like watching you guys, head back, sun on my face, and just taking it all in. It's beautiful music.
Very cool.
And where does your inspiration derive from? From a lyric standpoint.
From a lyric standpoint, I mean, I'm a surfer and I like to be at the ocean, and it's very easy, sort of cheesy to say you can just sit at the ocean and look at it, but it is an influence, you know.
It's
just
inspiring. Sure.
yeah. And it's easy to just stare out there and not really care about anything, and the ocean in itself is just a moving force that is in motion, and that's a big part of it, really. Not that the themes themselves are of the ocean, but yeah.
I've always been, actually, I want to ask you about this. Being a surfer and into music, is there's that, that California like surf rock sound, the Dick Dale. Were you influenced by that at all?
I definitely at one point had my Fender Strat with the Verb cranked and was trying to do the Dick Dale thing. Yeah.
And where did that sound? I mean, I guess that goes back to the 50s, 60s. Kind of it goes like the edgier version of like the Beach Boys, like the
Sure.
It's like Beach Boys on acid.
It's definitely more punk than the Beach Boys. Yes.
Right. Hanging out is DonCat. What's up, guys? Down from San Francisco, made the drive down. Do you feel like there's a sound that maybe emanates prominently out of the Bay Area versus other parts of the country?
Out of the Bay, especially in East Bay, there's a lot of very rhythmic music happening, melodic and rhythmic music, and I think out of San Francisco, there's a lot of raw rock and roll, I would say, as opposed to kind of the vast majority of sound in LA or elsewhere.
It's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've recognized, sort of.
Influences, things that you listened to growing up, or maybe in kind of your coming of age, that we'll run down the line and get everybody's answer to that.
Sure. I mean, a recent focus. I'm into Feist's latest record. It's not that new anymore. But Metals was a big influence. Big fan of Jim James as well. Going farther back, I'm a big fan of George Harrison, his guitar playing, and Peter Green from Fleetwood Mac. Early Fleetwood Mac is a big influence as well.
For sure.
But yeah, that's kind of who affects me.
Cal?
Yeah, I grew up really influenced by a lot of the music scene going on in D.C.
The Fugazis of the world.
Yeah. So
the hardcore stuff, yeah.
Let's see, Henry.
That's what I mean by a place that has a sound,
Yeah, that's one sound that's known, like angular guitars, a lot of distortion, obviously, the whole Discord record label. But I grew up really influenced by that.
Yeah.
But I also played a lot of jazz. So I listened to Miles Davis, obviously, and now I listen to a lot of the Bad Plus and like Ari Honig and drummers like that. But I'm still a big National fanboy.
Okay.
And I'll listen to bands like Mew. So I guess equal parts jazz and math rock still.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of similar to Kyle. I grew up listening to a lot of the Bay Area punk scene stuff. So I was pretty involved in that as a kid, going to lots of shows in both the East Bay, San Francisco. Also pretty involved with the jazz scene as well, which was really fun. It's like a really nice mesh of sort of sounds and styles, but kind of comes from a similar, I guess, aesthetic, artistic place. But yeah, as far as bass player stuff, I also grew up listening to a lot of the Beatles. Paul McCartney's my guy.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that Ferris Wheel.
Sure.
What's the idea behind that one?
That is about sort of taking a leap into a relationship at risk of falling off the Ferris wheel at the top of it. So you might get on, and even if you're at the top and you don't know if it's going to come down, you're still going to get on. Because, you can't not. You must take the ride.
guys are all Bay Area guys. I know, Kyle, you're from Maryland. Did you make it back east much?
Yeah,
Or are you a West Coaster now?
I get nagged by my mother and both my triplet sisters to fly back to Maryland a lot. So.
Oh wow, you're a triplet.
So I do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be. Do you have that transcontinental kindred spirit where you telepathically communicate?
The ESP, yeah, we have that with each other. No.
He might be a triplet. He's a one of a kind with us.
Yeah. So, DonCat, you guys have been playing as this incarnation for a few years now. What's 2015 in store for you guys? What's coming up this year?
So we released our first record in February of this year, and it's in 2015. We've actually been working on the record, but in 2015, hopefully by the summertime, we'll have released our second full length.
Okay.
And we're focusing on that right now. Probably play the occasional gig in the Bay, down here, elsewhere along the West Coast. But yeah, really focus on getting the record out.
And where are you recording that?
We are doing it on our own at a bar in downtown San Francisco.
Oh, that's great.
That I have a connection with and have had for the past few years. And they've been kind enough to give me the keys to the castle and go in there when I'd like.
And is it a proper studio, like with a board and everything?
It's not a proper studio at all. And Chris actually engineers everything.
Okay.
So we go in there on the weekends and we do whatever we'd like, really. And it's a big open space, high ceilings, and it's just a great space to be able to do whatever we'd like.
It's a unique space to play in. I mean, obviously, it's probably a little bit different than a studio that is very, acoustically designed.
Right, and there are some nuances and challenges that come with that. But
for example,
you have refrigerator hums,
or helicopters,
or helicopters, or other strange things.
Lots of fans.
There have been noisy fans, so there's incidences that go on. But in the end, it's nice just to have our own place to. No ticking clock. We just go in there and do our thing.
I'm sure it will turn out beautiful, just like the music we heard today.
Yeah. And part of it is having the vibe of just being in a strange space. I mean, it's not going to be a clean and airtight album, as the last one wasn't, but that's part of the vibe of it.
Do you have plans for this record? Are you guys going to do like a full nationwide tour, hop in the van and go big, or do you have a...
We will definitely tour. I think right now our goal is to conquer the West Coast first before we go farther.
Okay.
Seeing as how Kyle is from the East Coast, we'll probably head out there at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting nonstop requests.
Oh, I'm sure.
Family. Every time I come home, they're like, "When are you gonna play here?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Do you know how terrifying it is to ship a drum set across?"
That's true. That you might have to rent that.
Yeah, I will.
Out there. Yeah. That'll be your family reunion at the DonCat show.
Yeah.
It
makes too much sense not to go.
How often are you writing? Are you one of those guys that just always is?
I'm always writing, yes.
This guy's always writing.
Yeah.
I might be out and about and just recording voice memos on my iPhone or, I'm always writing.
Do you ever get writer's block?
No, only because that can happen if I do sit down and try to write something. But I guess I've been lucky enough that I haven't had to do that. So, yeah.
Do you get emotionally attached to your songs? Like, you know what? If you went in and say, this one has to be on. Like, I don't care how long it takes. We got to get this one on.
Definitely. I was discussing with Chris, actually. Certain songs, this goes back to the writer's block, actually. Certain songs I'll kind of write halfway, get very stuck with their direction, but still be very emotionally attached. And say, that vibe still needs to be on the record. And then forgetting about it is probably the best thing I can do, and then come back to it maybe a few months later and say, okay, kind of forgot about it a little bit. I want to address it again, see where it goes.
Yeah.
So that's definitely part of the process as far as songs that I'm emotionally attached to.
Let's talk a little about Right On.
Right On is a song about letting your light shine, pretty much. Again, it's just try to make it easy on the listener. I like to put out a song in motion that just you can really nod your head to and hopefully sing along to, make the melodies nice.
too.
How can folks go and find you? DonCatmusic.com?
DonCatSings.com.
Sings.
We're on all the social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you Google us, DonCat, you'll find everything.
And keep an eye out for the more music coming out this summer.
Absolutely.
Looking forward
Absolutely.
to it.
Yeah.
All right. DonCat, thank you guys so much for making your way down here and hanging out
Thank
today.
you, Darren.
Thanks so
you.
much for having us.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Take care.